Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm Marian Zhao, wife, mama for real estate investor and entrepreneur. Today's video, I'm going to go over all of the horror stories I've had this past year as an Airbnb super host. Let's get right into it. Alright y'all, so I had a few horror stories, a lot of crazy ones. And the biggest one happened when I first listed my property on Airbnb. So I listed my property on Airbnb September 7th of 2021. And then I got my first listing September 9th of 2021. So literally 2 days after I listed it, I got my first listing. It was a 1 week listing. I think it was like $1,200. That's not what this video is about. This video is about all the horror stories. But the first one was the one that I was like, am I gonna do this? But at the time, I didn't put a lock on the basement door yet. So it was open, all the extra paper towels and toilet tissues and laundry detergent and water bottles and sodas and snacks. I give my guests complimentary snacks. So all of that was in the basement in my washing machine and dryer. But right now I don't give access to anyone to do that unless they ask me, and then they're like there for a 1 week long reservation. I'll tell them where the key is to access that, but now I just lock the door. The majority of people there are staying for 2 nights. They don't need to do no laundry, run up my water bill or my light bill. Do your laundry at home. Pay for that shit yourself. Okay? Okay. So this gentleman was doing laundry in the basement, and there was a whole bunch of them. And then he was really, I learned that now every guest is different. Some guests are very vocal. They'll tell you, hey, we see this is like this, and just want to let you know it wasn't us who did it. We found it like this. There's a scratch on the wall. It wasn't us who did it. And whereas others are just MIA. They checking your property. You send them messages. They are ghosts. They don't respond, whatever. And then some others, like, you got to dig the information out of them. So I would always ask him, hey, how's everything going? Do you guys need anything? And then he's like, yeah, everything is fine. And then I kept asking him. He was like, well, by the way, I don't know if you know, but there's like a flood in your basement. How you send that shit by the way? What do you mean by the way there's a flood in your basement? Have a good day. Talk to you later. What? Fuck you mean? So I get nervous. I'm like, what are you talking about? Send me pictures. This man sent me pictures of like puddles in the basement, like the flood in the basement. He was doing laundry, going in and out of this water in the basement. So thank God, my neighbor that's like 2 doors down, she's a contractor. I love her to death, Miss Doretta. She's a contractor. She's been in the business for like 50 years. I asked him if it's okay if I can send my contractor out to go take a look. So he's like, yeah, Doretta goes, takes a look. Come to find out, the water that was in the basement was coming from the sewer. There was toilet tissue. So basically every time they would flush the toilet, it would go to the sewer pipe, and that shit was leaking in the basement. So there was feces in the basement floating around and shit. Like they on vacation in somebody's basement. Shit floating in the basement. Are y'all listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth right now? There was shit floating in the basement of my Airbnb that I just listed. Shit is floating in my basement. Toilet tissue is floating in my basement. It's disgusting. It smells crazy. The guests had no idea. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they did it. Basically, they were stuffing my toilet up. I had to double ply toilet tissue. Don't put that shit in your basement. 1 ply only. These are lessons that you learn as these cases happen. I'm like, let me get the double ply so they could pat they boom boom. Let it be nice and soft, and you know when nothing's sticking. I hate that cheap toilet tissue where it's sticking to you and you. I like the expensive shit. Don't buy that expensive shit and put in your Airbnb. Please buy the very cheap shit that you can find 1 ply. You know why? These people will roll up a big ball of toilet tissue and stuff it down your toilet, clogging up your toilets, clogging up the whole system. So I was able to, since they go out like really early in the morning and then come in the evening, I was able to get Doretta in there. She drained out the basement. She put all these, chemicals to kill it, because it's not even safe for you to be down there with feces. It's disgusting. So she was able to clean it out, do what they had to do. I had to get a plumber. The plumber comes, and this is really common for Trenton because these houses are so old. I think my house was built like in the 1800s, like something crazy, because Trenton is a historic area. So the plumber, I don't remember because it was a year ago, but I remember the plumber saying that, oh, it's a cast iron. So my responsibility for the pipes under my building is from my house to the sidewalk. Anything from the street on is the responsibility of the city. So I had to get a plumber to dig up a hole in my basement, replace that cast iron pipe, and also dig up a hole outside of my house from like the building where the building started to the sidewalk. I have pictures in my phone, but I really don't feel like going through those pictures and trying to find them and post them on this video right now. So y'all just gonna have to close your eyes and get to this imaginary vision with me. From the sidewalk to the street, he had to dig a hole. Mind you, I'm sorry, this is my first listing. I'm getting Airbnb guests. It was a shit show. So we had to, you know, agree on price and stuff. I think he charged me like $4,200. Well, he was able to get it done within a week. He got the permits and all that stuff. Dug the ground up from, I spoke to a few plumbers and he was like the best one, from the wall to the sidewalk. Let's move on to the next topic. I had a guest on VRBO that literally came and tore my house apart. When she came, there was nothing wrong with my master bedroom closet. When she left, the shit was hanging off the hinges. And she left me a really bad review on VRBO saying that the doors couldn't even close, that it was hard for the doors to close, that she couldn't even use the bathroom. They checked out. All this bullshit. Like, you could close the doors. I admit, closing the doors, you have to like put a little bit into it. But that was an easy fix. I got my contractor to come out. She just sanded the doors down a little bit, and then it was an easy fix on both sides. Easy, smooth fix. And these are all brand new doors. So I guess the contractor didn't really smooth it out. But she literally pulled my closet door off the hinges that she was hanging off the hinges. I didn't even bother to charge her. I just wanted them out of my house. That was another easy fix. I got my contractor to fix that. I had a guest, right? And I like to deal with the person that booked the reservation. So sometimes people will try to book a reservation and be like, hey, I'm booking this for my cousin. Can my cousin come in? I don't really recommend doing this, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. But I like the person that's booking the reservation because I see their profile, I know where they're from, and I like it that they check in and I only communicate with them. But I'm not gonna hold you. When those months is coming in, it look like I'm about to make only $2,000, and someone's like, hey, I'm booking this for my husband. Miss, I don't care if you're booking it for your dog. Okay, send me my coins, make sure they don't break my property, and we're gonna keep it hush hush. It's between me and you. But if they break my property, I'm coming for your jugular. But it's been working out. But don't take this information from me. I'm just keeping it 100, okay? This guest was checking in with their mother, their boyfriend, their baby. They was coming to Sesame Place, all this stuff. They come in, they take a picture of my welcome sign. When you walk in, I have a nice, beautiful welcome sign up there. It's not in no one's way. It's literally against the wall. She claims it just dropped. And I know she was there with some kids. She claims it just dropped out of nowhere. So it dropped, the welcome sign kind of broke. So I'm like, okay, just put it to the side. Then, after this guest checks out, my cleaner tells me someone was in my basement. Like, she could tell some of the paper towels were gone, some of the toilet tissues were gone. So I messaged the guest because she had people in my house while she wasn't there. And I'm like, did you have access to my basement? Because my basement door is locked. And she was like, oh, I don't know. No, another thing was she checked out first. But then when my cleaner went to go to clean the house, the guest that she came with, I think she was linking up with family members that lived in Trenton. So she drove back to wherever she was going to. But the guest that she came with was still in the house. So I'm calling her like, listen, you booked this reservation, so you can't just be leaving people in there. I don't know the people that you left in there. So it's your responsibility to make sure that they leave and make sure that they follow all the checkout guidelines. So I'm on the phone with them because it's past 10. And she's like, okay, they're pulling their Uber. They're waiting for their Uber. Okay, they can wait for their Uber outside. You have to have these conversations with them. Like, my checkout is really strict. My cleaner comes from far to come and clean my house. I don't want her waiting for people. Y'all got to get out. And I don't want no one giving her a hard time either. So I'm dealing with her on the phone. She's like, okay, hold on. She's calling them, whatever. Anyway, they get out the house, but then we realized that something was going on in the basement. She checks in with her family. Come to find out, yeah, they did go in the basement. They admit to breaking into my basement and going inside the basement and just helping themselves. It was such a shock. Like, usually I'm on their ass, but like, because I have things in place in my house rules. Like, if you have additional guests, that's $50 per guest. Like, if you go past, like 30 minutes past the checkout time, I'm charging you for the full hour or something. Like, I have rules in place. I didn't have no rule in place for this. So I didn't know what to justify charging her or doing to her. She was so apologetic. She called me. I wasn't answering. Then I answered, and she was like, I'm so sorry, whatever it is. Like, I even told them, how could they do this to me? I'm never traveling with them again. She was giving me a sob story. But I'm like, you gotta control your people. The reservations are under your name. Like, there's so many things I could have done. And then I kept thinking about how much I should tell her to pay. But then it was like, sometimes these things just come over me, and I'm like, I'm too nice. So she was just like, please tell me, like, how much is it gonna be? Like, the damages. I was in disbelief. Then she gave my number to the guests. They caught themselves texting me like, hey, my cousin said that you said that there were damages. You broke into my basement. Now you got the cojones to message my phone? Are you serious? The one that I was talking about, I dropped a video yesterday talking about a guest called Chirono who checked in and then canceled their reservation 1 hour later. I'm gonna do a whole video on this. But what happened to her was she checked in really late, I think like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And then like 2 hours later, she's sending me all these pictures. She's like, hey, I have toddlers. I want to give them a bath, but the tub is not drained. She sends me a picture. You could barely see water in the tub. I'm not even gonna hold you. You could barely see water in the tub. And she's like, the bathroom's not draining. What are we gonna do? I told you I have toddlers. It's an easy fix, but it was really late when she messaged me, and I didn't want to text Mr. Retta. Mr. Retta could have easily went and, you know, did the ring, that long thing, the chain, and drained it out, and took out any hair that was in there. Now then, she said that the refrigerator wasn't cooling. So I'm like, listen, miss, I just had a guest check out yesterday that was there for a week. They didn't complain about the refrigerator. My cleaner sent me a video of the bottles in the refrigerator. You know when a bottle is cold, like the bottle is sweating? I forgot what it's called, but the bottle is sweating. That's how you can tell the water inside the bottle is like cold. That's what was happening to the bottles of the video, because I went back to look at the videos. The bottle was cold. Like, what are you talking about? Sometimes people just be looking for excuses to get a refund. So I'm sitting here trying to calm her down. I'm like, listen, I can have all of this taken care of for you in the morning. Like, it's 11 p.m. You messaging me at 11:30. So she was like, you know what? We're not comfortable. We don't want to stay anymore. Your pictures are very deceiving. I respond, I'm like, miss, please tell me what's deceiving about my pictures. What did you see in the pictures that you come to the house and doesn't look like it? She couldn't respond. And I go above and beyond for people who have children. Like, I have child-proof covers in the outlets. I have a high chair there. I have you know, toddler utensils in my cabinets. Like, I make sure I'm looking out for the kids. I have a baby gate in the closet so you can hook it up yourself. 2 rollaway beds, so if anyone who has a toddler, they can have the toddler sleep right next to them. Like, I don't want above and beyond, so you're not going to sit here and tell me that my pictures are deceiving. She couldn't respond. But in my head, I'm like, listen, if you check out whatever, like, I'm not about to sweat it because I'm getting paid either way. You checked in, the cleaning fee is mine. So she's like, okay, I checked out your property. I locked the doors, I changed the code. So then she called herself, sending me a message midnight, please refund immediately, and I'll let you keep the cleaning fees because we did check in, and I know everything with COVID. I'm laughing as I'm reading this messages, and I respond to her, please call Airbnb and speak to a specialist so they can go over the firm cancellation policy with you, because there's no refund. Even if you cancel up to 7 days before you check in, there's no refund, let alone the day you check in, check out. She thought she was getting a refund. And this happens a lot. Like, people probably come and they're like going to Six Flags and they're like, you know what, we're gonna be tired, let's find an Airbnb. And then they're like, you know what, let's just go home, you know, we want to just go home. Or maybe the other plans come up, so they try to find an excuse with your house, your property, so you can give them the refund. Because why are you leaving the house at midnight with all these kids? I think I saw 2 or 3 toddlers, and she had like 2 or 3 people more on the reservation than she should have had. I could have charged her $40 per person additional. I didn't do that because she was already salty. She thought she was getting her money back. She should have stayed at the property, but she checked out. So guess what? When she checked out, I had someone come back and check in the very next day. So I got paid twice for the same days. Yes, Zersky. Next. This happened at the beginning of the summer. Like, 80 degrees, 85 degrees came out of nowhere, and I don't have central air in my property. I have AC window units in every bedroom and in the living room, and it gets really cool within like 15-20 minutes, but you got to turn it on. And I be telling my cleaner, please don't leave it on, because I don't know what time these people, you leave from cleaning at 1 p.m, someone's checking at 10 p.m, that whole time my electricity bill is running. I tell her to keep all that shit off, and when the guests come, they turn it on. So this guest checked in. They was there only for 1 night, but I had forgot to install the ACs. So they were telling me, because they had the thermostat and it was like, this is not working, da 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 da. And I was like, I got fans. So I gave them access to the fans. But she was so sweet, and she could tell I put so much into the property, so she wasn't even mad, and she didn't even put it in the review. But I felt so bad. So the next morning, I had already texted Mr. Retta. The next morning, she went in, she installed all the ACs. It took her like an hour and a half. So got that problem fixed. So this is like, I'm on top of the problem. I'm a problem solver. When someone's telling me about a problem, I'm not there to dwell and listen and like, you know, dwell on the problem. I'm trying to figure out the solution so I can move the fuck on, because I don't have the time. Okay. Oh, someone was smoking weed in my house and forgot to take a, like, they forgot to clean up the buds or whatever. I don't smoke weed, so I don't know if I'm using the term right, but whatever it goes into the little roll up, she left it on the floor, and as soon as you go in, my cleaner was like, it smells like weed in here, and left it there. And this lady was in there with her baby. I didn't think, you know, she was gonna be smoking. I got a patio. I got a pretty patio with the lights, ambiance, and all that. You gonna come smoke in my master bedroom with my $500 Macy's sheets? So I charged her $200 to get the smell out of the air, and she was like, really, $200 for some Febreze? She was hella tight. I don't care. It's the rules is there. Why are you smoking in my house? You have to like. And she was like, oh my God, we're gonna come back and all this stuff. $200, miss, because you was smoking in my house, point blank, period. And she was like, we were smoking in the backyard. We left the window open because, you know, it's COVID. She left the window open only in the master bedroom, so to try to air it out. And she left the window open in December. Who leaves the window open in December, which is hella cold? Okay. Next, this happened the other day. This happened like 2 weeks ago. This I had pictures for, so I'll put in this in the video. But I'm driving up to Trenton with my sister to go check on our duplex. And the morning, 9 o'clock, I get a message from the guest the guest that's checked in Saturday. It's a couple with their toddler, and she sent me a picture. First, she's messaging, she's like, hey, I just tilted the TV up a little bit because I got those retractable TV mounts. And she was like, I tilted the TV up a little bit to tilt so we can watch it. And then 20 minutes later, the TV came crashing down. How did TV come crashing down, miss? So automatically, at this point before, I used to believe everything these people said. Now, automatically, I don't believe a word coming out of their mouth. So I'm like, yeah, okay, her child was probably hanging off, Tarzaning off my TV. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't believe it. She sends me the pictures. I immediately send Mr. Retta, my contractor that lives on the corner, over. She takes a look at it. She inspects the mount and automatically is like, yep, she's right. No one pulled this down. This was not in the socket. You know how like it's supposed to go in the studs? It wasn't in the stud. The person that I use to mount my TVs has been mounting TVs in my family for like 15 years. He's really good at what he does, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what happened with this, and the TV in my Airbnb is only 65 inches. I don't know what happened, but the TV came down. The man didn't put it in the studs. He just put it in the drywall. So I was surprised that it actually lasted this long. It lasted a year in the drywall. Thank God it didn't fall on her child or on anyone in the house. I mean, I'm just thankful for so many things, and I was so apologetic, and they were so sweet and nice about it, because of course no one wishes that upon no one. So I'm on my way to Trenton to go look at the duplex. At this point, I just stopped at Walmart, buy a new TV, ordered for about $300. I gave her the TV, I dropped it off. She went, she mounted the new TV, she put it in the drywall, she sent me everything. She bought a little sample paint, she painted it back up. It's like it never happened. It was up, done, and done within 12 hours of the problem happening. Same thing with the refrigerator. With that other guest that checked out because the refrigerator wasn't cooling, she checked out. I called these people, and I'm like, what's up with the refrigerator? I had Ms. Doretta go take a look, and she's like, yeah, it's not cooling. Like it's cold, but it's not what it needs to be. So I called the people. I think it was LG or Frigidaire, one of them, and they're like, oh, miss, your warranty's over. I immediately order a fridge for pickup. My contractor that's working on my duplex, I told him to please go pick up this fridge because the houses are only 7 minutes apart. Please pick it up and install it. Tell me how much you're going to charge me. Take the fridge that's not working, take it to the duplex for now, and let's keep it pushing. I got reservations coming up. What I'm not going to do is cancel someone's reservation. We're not saying no to money, okay? Okay. These are the kind of issues we have, but I just want to let you know. And I already did like a full video on the guests that came to my house, trashed my place. Well, they didn't really trash it, but they just left food everywhere. I charged like $280 for extra cleaning and extra guests. I have a full video on that. I'll put that right there. But yeah, I just wanted to go over some of the horror stories I had over the year. But the first one was like the shit show. It was literally a shit show in my basement. That's disgusting. but I've never had the issue since the plumber come and took care of it. We didn't know what was going on. Just wanted to go over those horror stories. Like, it's not going to be all peaches and cream. You're gonna have issues, you're gonna have problems that's gonna come up, but it's just, the problem isn't the issue, it's what you do about it. Like, I could have just left the shit floating in the basement. That's disgusting. I would have been a slumlord for that. That's nasty. And had people upstairs with shit frolicking in the basement. Really? Nah, I couldn't do that. So that's it for the horror stories that I had. I think I had more. These are the ones that I wrote down. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.